All right, we are back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you're all having an amazing 4th of July weekend so far. And we're taking a little break from our regularly scheduled programming of woke TikTok insanity to take a look back at this week in Biden. So we're just going to do a quick recap of the past week of former Vice President Joe to see how things went for him, take a look at some of the highlights and some of the finer points. And as you can imagine, it was a complete and utter disaster, just like his whole presidency has been. So we're going to dive right into it. Let's get started with gas prices. Now, previously, former Vice President Joe has blamed these ridiculously high gas prices on the CEOs of these big oil companies taking record profits. These big, huge oil companies are price gouging and corporate greed. Well, once that started to get debunked, Joe had to pivot, and he did what Democrats do best. He pulled that one card that they play when all else fails, that card they've been playing since Donald Trump won the election in 2016. You guessed it. Russia, Russia, Russia.
The reason why gas prices are up is because of Russia. Russia, Russia, Russia. The reason why the food crisis exists is because of Russia.
Surely you can't be serious.
Oh yeah, he's serious. And the sad thing about this is it works. My mother still thinks Donald Trump's a Russian agent. Now millions of Americans just heard former VP Joe say that, and they all believe that the gas prices are at record highs because of Russia, Russia, Russia. Well, you may wonder, Joe, just open up the Keystone Pipeline. Let's ramp up domestic oil production. Let's get some of these leases going on these federal lands that you pulled. Let's get it going. Let's get the gas prices down. How long do Americans have to put up with this nonsense? Well, that's what a reporter asked him. You're not going to believe his answer.
And how long is it fair to expect American drivers to continue to pay a premium because of this war?
Let me hear this. The second part of the question was, would it bring down the price?
Will it bring down prices? And the war has pushed prices up. They could go as high as $200 a barrel, some analysts think. How long is it fair to expect American drivers and drivers around the world to pay that premium for this war?
As long as it takes. So Russia cannot, in fact, defeat Ukraine and move beyond Ukraine.
What the hell did you just say?
How long is it fair to expect American drivers and drivers around the world to pay that premium for this war?
As long as it takes. So Russia cannot, in fact, defeat Ukraine and move beyond Ukraine. As long as it takes. So Russia cannot, in fact, defeat Ukraine and move beyond Ukraine.
Fuck you. I hate you.
Jesus, Joe, it was only a two-parted question. What's the second part again? Well, I would love to tell you guys my thoughts on this whole thing, but my channel would get nuked immediately, so I'm sure a lot of you guys have the same exact opinions about this as I do and the same thoughts. So anyway, as long as we're involved in this Ukraine-Russia deal, our gas prices are going to keep going up. He just said it. Now, we all know this has got nothing to do with that. It's a lot bigger than this. Now, there is an advisor for former Vice President Joe that was on CNN, and he said the quiet part out loud. He wasn't supposed to say this, I don't think. I'm kind of shocked he did. And he gave us the real reason why gas prices are so high, and I don't know, I guess it's not a conspiracy theory anymore. I guess we've all been vindicated for the ones that have been talking about this. What did he have to say?
It's sustainable. What do you say to those families who say, listen, we can't afford to pay $4.85 a gallon for months, if not years. This is just not sustainable.
Well, what you heard from the president today was a clear articulation of the stakes. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
Hey, can you repeat the part of the stuff where you said all about the things? The thing?
Well, what you heard from the president today was a clear articulation of the stakes. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
Yeah, something fishy's going on.
This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
Wait, whoa! What the
Yeah, I know. He said it. So we used to call it the New World Order back, for years. That's what it was called. But you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. So they throw liberal world order. It's still the same thing. So listen, that guy that said that, I'm not exactly sure what his position is. He's some kind of advisor to former Vice President Potato Brain Joe. He's also, I believe, on the board of advisors, something to do with BlackRock. He has something to do with BlackRock. I'm not exactly sure what his position is there either. And if you don't know what BlackRock is, go ahead and look that up. Probably grind your gears a little bit, get you a little hot under the collar, but dive into BlackRock. See what that's all about. Anyway, so Joe Biden, former Vice President Joe, is spotted sitting down with this little leaflet thing and his little pamphlet in his hand. I have a pretty good idea he was supposed to keep it flat on the desk and not hold it up for reporters or anyone else to take pictures of it. Because the pictures blow up, this is what it says. Folks, this is not a Photoshop. This is 100% real. For our blind subscribers and people sitting way, way, way in the back, it says the president, and it says offshore wind dropped by sequence of events. It has instructions to the T, and to remind Joe that he's Joe, it says you with capital letters YOU. You enter the Roosevelt room and say hello to participants. You take your seat. Press enters. You give brief comments. Press the... This is ridiculous. This is like giving a child directions on exactly what to do.
What the fuck is this?
And that's why we see these ridiculous press conferences where where he says stuff like this. Roll the film.
I'm supposed to go down the list here. Now I'd be happy to take your questions. And the first question, I'm told, is Darlene Superville from the Associated Press.
Thank you, Mr. President. 2 questions, please.
Of course. And the first question, I'm told, is Darlene Superville from the Associated Press.
Personally, I think you're a fucking idiot.
Who's even talking? They tell me I have to call him. Who's even talking? Who's they, Joe? Who's they, Joe? Who's that? All right, so then this is what happens when they release Joe into the wild and he doesn't have his handlers. He doesn't have his giant teleprompter in the fake White House that they've built across the street from the White House where they have huge teleprompter walls. It's a scene. It's like a, I'm sure you guys have seen that. That's for another video. I think I've talked about it before, where they actually built a replica White House that had giant teleprompters for Joe to read. Anyway, when they let him off into the wild, he doesn't have the teleprompters, he doesn't have his little note cards, and he doesn't have his handlers right next to him, or like the Easter Bunny pulling him away from reporters. This is what you get, a lost, senile old man that doesn't know where he is. Sad. So sad. Elder abuse. Stop elder abuse. Roll the film.
You look ridiculous.
Jesus, he just looks so sad and afraid. I don't feel bad for the guy. This guy, after what his daughter's diary revealed, after stuff with Hunt, his son, and I don't feel sad for the guy. Not even a little bit. And I hold him solely responsible for the destruction that's happening right now everywhere in this country. Anyway, this video went on far longer than I'd hoped it, than I planned it to. So, we're going to end it on this one. This is Joe, former VP Joe, talking about the Roe versus Wade decision by the Supreme Court. Let me remind you guys, this is the same person that was trying to force an experimental shot on those of us that didn't want anything to do with it. He was trying to force us. He was threatening us with our livelihoods. He said his patience is running out for us. Don't forget that. All right, guys, listen, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Happy 4th of July. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. Peace. Check this out.
The one thing that has been destabilizing is the outrageous behavior of the Supreme Court of the United States on overruling not only Roe v. Wade, but essentially challenging the right to privacy. We've been a leader in the world in terms of personal rights and privacy rights, and it is a mistake, in my view, for the Supreme Court to do what it did.
You need to shut the fuck up.
And you ain't black.